It's January 8, 2022, and as you can see, we had a little snow yesterday. If you saw my time lapses shot during the storm, it accumulated fairly quickly after about noon. And yesterday, when I went out to plow, I had about 11.5 inches on the lawn, and we got about another ½ inch after that, so call it a foot yesterday. There was less on the road because the road was quite warm. It was not frozen, and so probably only had about 9 inches or so on the road, and got it plowed off pretty easily. My neighbor actually plowed it first, and then I went over it one more time. Then I came out this morning and did a little cleanup. I apologize for not posting a snow plowing video yesterday, but unfortunately I have been having some memory card issues, and somebody left the camera set to time lapse during shooting of the video. So I'm stopping here to take the truck out of four-wheel drive since I don't need it out here. And there it is. One of the things about this system on this truck is that it's electric four-wheel drive, and if you don't hit the right button, you can cause yourself some issues in terms of getting it out of four-wheel drive. I got some people here that are apparently going to go sledding on their driveway. And yesterday it was mostly right around or slightly above freezing during the snowstorm. So the snow was, although it wasn't really heavy, it was very sticky. And I can see the town came out and plowed this and put some salt on it, which I would rather they didn't, but they did. And it's down in the 20s today. The truck says it's 29 right now, but it's been parked facing into the sun. And we're heading over to the post office, and I just thought I would show people what it looks like out here after a 1 foot snowfall here on Mount Desert Island, Maine. So it's not quite as bad as it was down around Washington DC and Northern Virginia. All the roads were completely clear by the time the snow ended yesterday, and they plowed during the storm. And as you can see, roads are not an issue now. I don't need the four-wheel drive on the truck, just regular two-wheel drive. And but it's pretty. Lots of snow everywhere. Well, if you don't count the road. Roads are sort of ugly after a snowstorm because of all the sand and everything they put on them. But as snowstorms go, it wasn't a big deal. I've finished clearing my driveway and shoveled off my deck, and in the last half hour I've even cleared the snow off my solar panels. Anyway, I'm pulling into the post office. I'm just now backing out of the post office. You can see a little pile of snow there from where they plowed the post office parking lot. And we will head over to Southwest Harbor, as I have a little shopping to do. Yesterday while I was plowing, I snagged one of the fences my wife puts around the rhododendrons and kind of did it in, so I have to see if the hardware store has any more fence material. So anyway, we'll just cruise over to Southwest Harbor And you can see what it looks like here after a big snowfall. I should point out that yesterday at 6 a.m. we had no snow at all. Not a flake. So this is the first significant snowfall we've had this year. And it is supposed to warm up and rain tomorrow. So it's going to be an interesting situation after tomorrow. This brings up something. There are a lot of places you can cross-country ski here, and although one 12-inch snowfall probably isn't really enough to create a good base for skiing, I mean, you can do it. But what's going to happen over the next 48 hours is pretty typical of winter here on Mount Desert Island from the point of view of skiing. We have a snowfall like this, and followed the next day often by rain, and then back into the deep freeze. Tuesday morning we're supposed to be down around 0. So we'll have a little rain tomorrow, and then we will have really cold weather, and this snow will not melt completely, and it will end up with a crust of ice on it. So if you were to go out and set some ski tracks, by Tuesday morning they would be a sheet of ice, which is pretty typical for winter conditions around here. Normally, if you want to cross-country ski here, you have to go immediately after or even during the snowstorm, because usually within 24 to 48 hours after a snowstorm, everything is icy because of the freeze thaw we get here. And that is a direct consequence of proximity to the Atlantic Ocean, which is still around 50 degrees Fahrenheit here in early January. Ocean temperatures have risen substantially over the last 20 years, and they keep us quite warm here compared to even a couple miles inland. So this is what it looks like here on the way over to Southwest Harbor. Lots of snow on the trees, and kind of a pretty drive in the snow. But I'll stop for now until we get to town. Just coming into Southwest Harbor. Here is the head of the harbor, and what the town looks like after this kind of snowfall. It was pretty windy during the storm, so there isn't a lot of snow on roofs, and particularly not the steep metal roofs. That's pretty much all slid off already. Okay, the truck is telling me it's 24 degrees now, so that's recovered from sitting in the sun. So it's cool, but with the sun it doesn't feel cold, and it's not particularly windy now. Yesterday we had mostly 35 to 40 knot winds during the storm. We're just about to downtown Southwest Harbor. And despite what they tell you on television to, provision your car if you're going to drive in the winter with, blankets and warm clothing and extra food and all that, here in Maine, most of us don't bother with any of that, because we know that the day after the storm, or maybe even during the storm, the roads are going to look kind of like this. Okay, we've just turned onto Clark Point Road, and I'm going to pull into the parking lot and head into the hardware store. Back in a minute. I'm finished at the hardware store, and we're going to go back to Bass Harbor via the coast route through the Seawall section of Acadia National Park. Then I'll probably pull into the Seawall picnic area and stop a couple of other places just to show you a little bit of what the island looks like after a snowstorm. I'm over at the Manset town dock looking across the entrance to Southwest Harbor toward the hills of Mount Desert Island. See, fair amount of snow up on the hills, and that's Greening Island straight across. So, very pretty day out here today. Next stop is going to be out at Seawall. Yeah, I just pulled into the picnic area here at Seawall in Acadia National Park. We're looking out over the ocean to the east. There's Great Cranberry Island, and it's pretty quiet out here. There are a few other cars. There's a fair amount of snow here, but I'll turn the camera around. And as you can see, the road has been plowed here, and that is normal out here to have the road plowed after a storm. Sorry, we're looking into the sun. And I just wanted to show you what the ocean looks like after a big storm. Pretty calm out here today. Okay, I think I'm going to head over and we'll have a look at the trailheads for Wonderland and Ship Harbor. Coming up on the parking area for the Wonderland Trail right now, and as you can see, there are a number of cars there. So this little dusting of snow has not stopped at least 4 people from hiking the Wonderland Trail today. And I'll keep the camera pointed out the side window here as we drive a little bit up to Ship Harbor and see how crowded it is. Wonderland, if you've seen my videos, is a pretty flat trail, so it's not a big problem to walk with a little snow on it. The only issue would be ice under the snow, and because it's been very warm lately, we really haven't had any ice. And there are a couple cars here at Ship Harbor, and as you can see, they've plowed out the parking area. Yep, 4 cars here as well. First loop here is pretty flat and easy. Second loop, not so much. As we drive through the last little bit of Acadia National Park here, as we head back over to Bass Harbor. Now we're out of the sun. So I'll say I hope you enjoyed this little look at the southwest tip of Mount Desert Island in Bass Harbor and Southwest Harbor on January 8, 2022, after we have had a foot of snow. So with that, I'm going to say please subscribe if you haven't. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button, and thanks for watching.